The Parade is a satire that critiques homophobia in Serbia, Croatia, Macedonia, and Slovenia through an alliance of unlikely allies, a white supremacist Serbian crime boss, and a trope of homosexual men and women. It must be acknowledged that topics like bigotry and white supremacy typically fall into dramatic storylines. For example, the film Philadelphia successfully brought into focus homophobia through a very dramatic narrative. Most viewers left that film with wet cheeks, a testament to the power of drawing on viewers' emotions through drama. Seeing these two subjects driving a comedic film may seem a bit odd at first, but has proved to be successful in films like As Good as It Gets, where masculinity and homosexuality are depicted with over-the-top characterizations. Following suit, director Dragojevic places his focus on critiquing homophobia and masculinity through the use of stereotypical representations. It would be easy to view this film and think that many of the cliches the director uses only reinforce homophobia and stereotypes that are typically associated with being gay and lesbian. However, Dragojevic also critiques heterosexual normality through his depictions of masculinity and femininity. Therefore, by looking at homosexuality and heterosexuality through socially constructed norms, he is able to successfully critique the system from which they derive. The following scene, taken from The Parade, serves as a good illustration of the director's use of comedy to underline the stereotypes embedded in masculinity and homosexuality in this part of the world. This scene begins with the group finishing a discussion on who will be joining Serbian crime boss Limun to find other allies for their cause. Limun's voice, deep and a bit threatening in tone, is heard saying, "Okay, during this mission there will be drinking." As he sits at the table with the gay cast, a mid-shot shows him pressing a button on a white remote, which instantly makes his fiancée, the only heterosexual female protagonist in the movie, clap with delight. At the same time, Für Elise by Beethoven begins playing in the background. It is worthwhile to notice that Pearl's role is to demonstrate the stereotypes embedded into female heterosexuality. Pearl is the ultimate girl's girl. Her focus throughout the film is on her wedding and humanitarian causes, things men in this society are believed to ignore. Her hair is perfectly styled and her makeup follows suit. She's adorned in jewelry and dresses in fashionable clothing, in this scene wearing a leopard print. The leopard print should not be taken lightly due to its ability to provoke a subconscious and instinctual fear in men that has the ability to increase their arousal and sexual appetite to hunt the animal that they see. In this sense, the clapping woman becomes an object of desire through her wardrobe choice, a sexually desirable and valuable character that represents the norm for other females in the society as things to be hunted, trophies that can be won. Limun, the Serbian crime boss, sits at the table wearing traditional manly Yugoslavian apparel, a track jacket, a thick gold chain with a cross attached, which underscores how religion plays into homophobia by the Christian depiction of homosexuals as deviants and morally corrupted individuals. He is not well groomed like his female counterpart, and seems to care little about his hair, beard, and mustache. He tells Radmilo that he must learn to drink like a man, or the men they will be trying to gain as allies will screw them. The scene is cut through a series of eye-line matching shots that begin with Pearl and Limun and then are matched with Radmilo and Mirko on the other end of the table, before returning to a mid-shot of Limun. Limun subtly and in a monotone voice makes a joke insinuating that Radmilo would actually be delighted to be screwed by these men, and that as a straight man himself, he would find this discomforting. Initially, he draws the line in the sand between homosexual and heterosexual men by his assumption that there is a manly way to drink alcohol. This underlines the socially constructed idea that heterosexual and homosexual men follow different gender norms. As he is speaking, a carousel filled with alcohol rises from the center of the table. An eye-line matching shot shows Radmilo at the other end of the table, touching his fingers on one hand to the fingers on the other, and listening intently to Limun's instructions. To highlight the patriarchal control embedded into heterosexual relationships in this part of the world, Pearl then asks Lemon if she can have a drink. To show he is the authoritative figure in the relationship and able to subordinate and control his fiancée, Lemon tells her later. He then summons Radmilo to come to him, and Radmilo replies nonsense to the assertion that he cannot drink like a man. Another eyeline match shot shows Radmilo's hesitance before a wide-angle shot shows the entire grouping of characters sitting around the table. As Radmilo walks over to Lemon, he refutes the idea that someone may be able to determine his sexual preference without him announcing it. His gay friends at the table mock his assertion by telling him, "That's what you think." This underscores how normalized the idea that behaviors are dictated by a person's sexual orientation in gay communities has become. Humor is infused again into the scene, this time by poking fun at heterosexuality. Mirko's statement about straight men finishing their drinks in bed highlights how gay men often must hide behind straight identities. Because he assaulted the idea of heterosexuality, Lemon instructs his fiancée to take Mirko somewhere else and then insults Mirko's emotional nature by saying, "Or he'll cry again." In this sense, he represents the overly emotional gay man, a characterization which has been used to define homosexuality by heterosexual men for decades. Lemon then continues to instruct Radmilo on how real men drink, telling him that they actually hit glasses. A close-up shot of Radmilo holding his shot glass with an erect pinky is then shown to reinforce another homosexual stereotype of the well-cultured, uppity, and snooty gay man. Upon seeing this cliché, Lemon angrily yells at him to put his pinky down, acknowledging how any representation of homosexuality may place Radmilo in danger. He reminds him that if his friends see the pinky, it will be "guns are out and fags are dead." As Lemon's instructions continue, Radmilo humorously tries to step into the role of manly man by holding a shot glass in the correct manner. A fast sequence of close-up shots follows the frustration of Lemon and the amusement of Radmilo and Linka at the ridiculous instructions taking place. This scene critiques the absurdity that resides in gender norms. Lemon reinforces the absurdity by telling Radmilo to hold his glass like normal people. To bring the comedy to a climax, the director continues to critique masculinity and heterosexual norms, with Lemon's assertion that the word "boom" needs to be used as the shot glasses are clinked together. As Radmilo says the word "boom," the scene ends with Radmilo finally drinking the alcohol and not being able to swallow it down smoothly. The faces he makes help the viewer see that he is unfamiliar with hard alcohol, another stereotype of gay men that separates them from the more traditional definitions of masculinity.
Dakle, pošto ćemo na ovoj ekspediciji po nešto i popiti, nije na izgled što se ona kaže da te naučim kako piju muškarci, kako nas ne bi jebali, na tvoje izuzetno zadovoljstvo, a na moje ekstremno nezadovoljstvo.
Mogu ja molim curicu?
Kasnije.
Ne mora.
Uživam.
Gluposti. Mene niko ne može da provali da sam gej ako ja to neću.
To ti misliš.
Dakle, dva stara druga sveli su se posle dužeg vremena i žele da zaliju svoj susret.
Pre nego što završe u krevetu.
Čuo sam to. Biserka, uvodi ga gore pre nego što opet počne da plače. Ajde, živali. Kuca se muški, energično, ne kao pičić. Ne taj prst! To čim vide odmah, vade pištolja za tuku pedera. Stegni to tako. Čvrsto, fino. Drži to onako...
Kao ležerno.
Ne ležerno. Ležerni ste vi. Evo normalno, kao... A mi normalni. Ajde, čvrsto, fino, da se čuje bum.
Bum.
Staka?
Bum.
Ajde, živjeli.
A što sam ja rekao?
Najbali smo.
In the end, the viewer is left laughing at both homosexuality and heterosexuality. Lemon's closing line, "We're fucked," demonstrates the gravity that stereotypical representations of gender and sexuality have in this society. It is through the use of comedy and satire with overly saturated stereotypical representations of masculinity that the director is able to underline the ridiculous nature of gender and sexual norms. He uses comedy quite successfully to drive home his point and make sure not to focus only on homosexual cliches, but also the banalities that reside in being heterosexual. Therefore, it can be concluded that director Dragojevich's use of comedy and stereotypes is successful in critiquing social constructions of heterosexuality and homosexuality.